Tesla is issuing yet another recall for the Cybertruck. More than 46,000 vehicles are being called back due to an issue with one of the truck's exterior panels. The cantrail, which is a stainless steel panel on the exterior of the truck, could detach while driving.
This is actually the second time that Tesla's had to do a recall for pieces of trim coming loose. And so it's maybe a little bit of a source of embarrassment for all automakers, even the best ones. You know, they occasionally will have recalls that are a tad embarrassing. In this case, to have it happen twice, you know, granted it is a different part of the vehicle, but this truck, of course, was so sort of famous for Elon Musk's decision to clad it all in stainless steel. And apparently they're having trouble with the adhesives to keep that steel stuck to the vehicle.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, you know, and take out, just telling you.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and not only is Tesla stock tanking, but it's about to get even worse. A massive recall just hit. Cybertrucks are stacked like tombstones in a corporate boneyard, and Musk, he's panicking, even crying on Fox News.
Tonight, authorities investigating what they're calling a targeted attack on a Tesla repair center in Las Vegas. This dramatic video showing multiple cars in flames. According to authorities, the suspected arson occurred early this morning. When police arrived, they found 5 vehicles set on fire or damaged, and the word resist spray painted on the front of the business.
I mean, it's really come as quite a shock to me that there's this level of really hatred and violence from the left. I always thought the left, or Democrats, were supposed to be the party of empathy, the party of caring. And yet they're burning down cars, they're firebombing dealerships, they're firing bullets into the dealerships, they're just, smashing up Teslas. Tesla is a peaceful company. We've never done anything harmful. I've never done anything harmful. I've only done productive things. So I think we just have a deranged, there's some kind of mental illness thing going on here, because this doesn't make any sense. And I think there are larger forces at work as well. I mean, I don't know who's funding it and who's coordinating it, because this is crazy. I've never seen anything like this.
Tesla is plummeting. Investors are bailing, and Elon Musk, the so-called genius billionaire, is too busy playing political kingmaker to notice his empire is collapsing around him. While his bootlickers push his stock like a late-night Ponzi scheme, Cybertrucks are rotting in unsold graveyards. Protests are erupting from Loveland, Colorado to Berlin, Germany, and even his biggest backers are calling for a new CEO. And yet Musk wonders why people hate his guts. Maybe it's because he's spent his entire life rigging the system against working people, pushing extremist candidates and hoarding billions while Americans struggle to afford food, rent, and medicine.
Joining us now for more on this is Ross Gerber, President, CEO, co-founder of Gerber Kawasaki Wealth Management and Investment Management. He invests in Tesla and currently owns 262,000 shares. Are you buying on the dip?
No, I'm not buying on the dip. Unfortunately, I wish I could tell you Tesla was cheap, but at 110 times earnings, it's still the most expensive stock of the Mag 7 and in the entire S&P by my standards of any large cap. So, this is the problem that Tesla has, is if you compare its valuation to companies like Nvidia or Microsoft, Tesla could go much lower than it is today, and that's what we're worried about.
From the Tesla collapse, the bootlicking fanboys, and the global backlash, and the truth about the most overhyped fraud in modern history, the truth is Elon Musk isn't a visionary. He's a snake oil salesman in a bulletproof vest, running from the failure that he created. And the world, they're done buying his scam. On Bloomberg's Global Auto segment, they broke down just how much of a disaster this Cybertruck recall really is.
I think for the Cybertruck, it's really interesting that this is the 8th recall that they've done.
Okay, that answers it, I guess.
And to be fair, some of them have been, for minor issues. My favorite one last year, they violated a font size rule in the U.S. where when you warn a driver that of safety critical data, you've got to do it in a large enough font, and Tesla violated that.
Yeah, recalls happen, even to the best automakers, but twice For the same kind of issue, that's not just a manufacturing hiccup, that's next level incompetence. And let's be clear, this isn't something Tesla can fix with an over-the-air update. No quick software patch will keep these things from shedding parts like a snake in a mid-molt. Tesla actually has to bring these Cybertrucks into service centers, inspect them, and physically fix them. That costs time, that costs money. And most importantly, it reminds everyone that Tesla's reputation for terrible build quality is still very much alive and well. This Cybertruck rollout was supposed to be Musk's big flex, the moment he silenced the doubters. Instead, it's the 8th recall in just over a year. 8th. We're talking about vehicles that have stuck accelerator pedals, failing windshield wipers, rear view cameras that don't work, and now the body panels are peeling off like cheap wallpaper in a humid bathroom. And if you've been on social media lately, you've probably already seen the pictures. Cybertrucks with side panels hanging off like a badly taped Halloween costume. People are posting, "What the F is this?" when they see these things limping down the highway, held together by sheer embarrassment. And let's not forget the dumbest recall of them all. Tesla actually had to issue a recall because the font on its warning messages was too small. No, seriously, U.S. safety regulations require warning messages to be readable, and Tesla somehow screwed that up. You can't make this up. Musk is out here designing Cybertrucks like he's writing a scam contract with fine print so tiny that you'd think he was trying to trick you out of the warranty. Now, you'd think all of this might make Tesla slow down, focus on quality, maybe even, God forbid, improve their reputation. But nope. Instead, we get people like Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick going on TV telling people to buy Tesla stock just days before this massive recall.
Officials across the Trump administration have really been working to support the company, and the latest and perhaps the clearest example came late last night when Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick urged viewers in a television interview to buy Tesla stock. He said, "If you want to learn something on this show tonight, buy Tesla," going on to say it was unbelievable how cheap the stock was, and adding it will never be this cheap again. So really an extraordinary moment there of a cabinet official and one who spent decades on Wall Street recommending the stock of a company run by a fellow member of the administration.
Just days before this recall dropped, Lutnick went on national television begging people to buy Tesla stock. This dude was hyping up Musk like he was selling a timeshare, acting like Tesla stock is too cheap to pass up, like this is some once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity. Meanwhile, the company is hemorrhaging credibility, and its stock is tanking. I tell you what, have you ever heard a bigger bootlicker in your life? This guy sounds like he walked straight out of the late-night infomercial selling the Elon Musk Deluxe Get-Rich-Quick scheme. This is the same Howard Lutnick who runs a firm that specializes in making rich people richer. And here he is, standing on national television, pretending to be some kind of financial prophet, telling everyday Americans to dump their money into Tesla while the company is actively recalling almost every Cybertruck that they've sold. And why? Because it's not about investment. It's about the same thing it always is, keeping Musk's ego inflated and convincing the public that he's some kind of genius, even when everything around him is falling apart. This is what happens when a billionaire builds a cult instead of a company. People don't even care that the cars are defective, the recalls keep piling up, or that Tesla is bleeding value. They just want to believe in the myth. They want to believe Musk is some tech god, a visionary, a once-in-a-lifetime innovator. Meanwhile, reality is sitting on the side of the road with the Cybertruck door flapping in the wind, reminding everyone that this whole thing is a scam. The funniest part, these are the same people who cry about government interference in the free market. But the second that Musk's empire starts crumbling, they're out here waving the pom-poms, begging people to dump their savings into Tesla stock to keep him afloat. It's not about capitalism. It's not about innovation. It's about protecting a billionaire who keeps making the same mistakes over and over again and convincing the public that it's just part of the plan. The cracks in the Cybertruck aren't the only things getting worse. Musk's entire grip on reality is slipping, and Wall Street is starting to notice. Tesla's stock is in free fall. Investors are jumping ship. The Cybertruck is rolling disaster, and Musk, he's panicking. And honestly, well, he should be. For years, he's gotten away with the con. He built his empire on hype, smoke, and mirrors, convincing people that Tesla wasn't just another car company, but a revolution. And now that revolution is falling apart in real time. 8 recalls, stock crashing, lawsuits stacking up, factories stalling. Even his biggest investors are publicly saying that he needs to be replaced. And Musk's response? Crying about it. He's running around screaming about attacks against him, acting like he's the victim while Tesla's quality control is a dumpster fire and his employees are watching their stock options turn into monopoly money. And then you get Tim Walz, a man who actually lives in reality, who opens his phone, checks Tesla's stock price, sees it tanking in real time, and just laughs. $225 and dropping. It's the perfect response. Because this is what happens when hype meets reality. The Musk fanboys are crying, the investors are panicking, the bootlickers are scrambling, and the people who saw this coming, they're watching it and all collapse with popcorn in hand. Because this was never about genius. This was never about innovation. It was always about one man's ego and how long he could convince people that it was worth billions of dollars. Now, the illusion is breaking. And no matter how many recalls, stock crashes, or exposed scams it takes, one thing is becoming clear by the day. The world is done with buying Musk's bullshit. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.